Hello everyone, my name is Shanna Weinsberg. I'm here to talk to you today about child immunizations. So I'll start by discussing why they're important, but also really focusing on the arguments pro and against immunizations. Diseases are rare nowadays, and the reason is because of immunization. I'll give you an analogy just so you understand a little bit better. If you were you were in a boat, for example, and you noticed that there was some water in the boat because of a hole or whatever, you would take the water out. If you continued on your sailing and you realized that there was water again, you would probably take that water out again, correct? So it's the same thing with diseases and immunization. The diseases will consistently reduce the more people are immunized. And the same will happen if we decide to stop with immunization. Diseases will come back again. They'll repeat again, just like the water will fill up in the boat again. We need to continue with immunization until the disease is completely gone. So you'll see here, I have many countries in the world who have decided or experimented with not using immunization. One example is in Japan. I think it was it says here in the 70s, there was a program that was specifically to target pertussis. 80% of their children had been immunized, and there were 380 cases every year. In the 1976, there was a rumor, again, that immunization might be causing other things, other diseases, other illnesses, other consequences, and so they decided to stop immunizing their children. So they only left it down to about 10% children that were being immunized. They realized much later that the disease went up significantly. There were 13,000 cases in 1 year. This created a panic, and Japan decided to go right back to immunizing again. And in 1981, they finally saw a huge difference in the numbers. And so this graphic shows us the importance of immunization. There are many illnesses that our immunization that we give our children impact. Polio, measles, HIV, Hep B, mumps, tetanus. Many dangerous illnesses that can cause cognitive delays, brain damage, liver failure. Tetanus, for example, is a big problem in the U.S. Every year, about 3,000 babies and 30 moms die from not having protection against tetanus. Same as it was with smallpox. That is a disease, an example of immunization we don't even need anymore because it no longer exists. So here's the argument for people against immunization. So there's a belief that it causes autism. We don't have specific proof of it, but there is a belief that it can cause autism. So in 2008, there was a study done. They wanted to focus specifically on MMR, that immunization. They claimed that there was a preservative inside of there that, when given to children, seemed to be linked to autism. At the same time, Europe decided to eliminate that same preservative. 4 years later, when they looked to see the numbers, they realized that it had not changed anything and that preservative must not have been the case because people were still getting autism. Some people feel that vaccines in general are not safe. They weigh the risk of diseases and then the risk of what the vaccine can do to the child. But there's things that we have to think about, like promulgating of diseases. We have to think about the impact it can have on other people. It's not just the decision of one person. And the research that they have in place right now to prove the link between autism and vaccines is very weak. We don't have anything right now that proves it. And so the last thing we need is for diseases to increase. We need to look again and see. Diseases do come in cycles. There will be increases and decreases, of course, in the U.S. as well as abroad. The Center for Disease Control, CDC, does look and at these studies every year. For sure, they continue to support vaccination and encourage it. If you decided to go ahead and vaccinate your child, there is a chart here that explains when is the right time, which disease you need to worry about when, which vaccine when. Some vaccines need to be 2 or 3 times. So you can look at that chart. And if you want more specific information about diseases, there's a wealth of information at the cdc.gov website. Thank you for your time.